Morning. So today is the beginning of our essential emotions discussion as it relates to our feelings on food and eating. And I feel like it's a topic that most people don't talk about in a way of processing emotion. It's more of like shame based or um, motivational, and don't talk about your feelings because it makes everyone uncomfortable. So even I'm uncomfortable right now. I'm Kim, by the way. And the beginning of my healing process and getting into like the natural health world had to do with me having an eating disorder. So from the age of 11 to 17, I was in and out of rehabs, inpatient homes, hospitals, psychiatrist offices, therapists. And I find it interesting that in the 90s, people didn't recognize what was happening for me. So they medicated me instead of them wanting me to figure out what was going on. I think they were like, well, this is easier if we just numb her out, which is sad. And that's a lot of people's story. And in the American healthcare system, that's the way it's looking, is let's cover it up with a pill and cover it up with, like what Jeannie would say, rainbows and lollipops. There's no, let's not talk about what caused the feelings, you know? So I feel like if we were to remove the rug with all the stuff underneath of it that we've been brushing under there, so that we can kind of take a look at it and remove the stigma and the fear of feeling our feelings, and how do we process them? How do we identify them so that they're not negative and they're not scary? So that's been a big deal for me, going through just learning how to be okay as a person and not be afraid. So yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to do with this. So I've been studying with Carla McClellan with her books. I would highly recommend to get that book. It's called The Language of Emotions by Carla McClellan. And I'm going to use that basically as our guide as going through here. And when we can identify what we're feeling and then understand what that feeling wants us to do. So there's action steps. So right now I'm pretty pissed off at my husband. But instead of me feeling bad about it, it's prompting me to get really clear about my communication. It's prompting me to not stay stagnant and to make new boundaries. It's preparing me for a change. Anger gives you the will to not stay in one spot. So it helps me get into action. So anger doesn't have to be seen as a negative thing. In the past, anytime I felt any spectrum of emotion that I interpreted as negative, then I would automatically shut it down with shame. And I feel like putting a lid on our feelings is a very like age-old feminism issue. Don't make other people uncomfortable, be the caretaker, take care of everybody. If they are to see me falling apart, then they're going to fall apart and our family will fall apart. You can see where this like line of thinking would go. And that's why it's important that we all have our own process. We're going to be reading through the book on our own, be journaling on your own, and just start kind of looking at some of this stuff. And also, how does that relate to our daily lives and the decisions we're making with taking care of ourselves? So, okay, let me collect myself here. So I wrote some journaling questions for you guys. So I'm going to share my screen. See, I'll just go here. Share. Do you guys see this? Do you see what's on my page? Does it say like
Yes.
questions?
Yes.
Okay. So when I am not prepared for eating healthy and you know, I'm gonna make poor choices, obviously, right? If there's only crap in the house to eat. And there's lots of feelings about that. So what happens when I feel hungry and I'm not prepared? Automatically feel shame that I wasn't prepared, that I wasn't taking care of myself. So like, I'm gonna show you this really beautiful eating program that my friend Natalie Brigby put together. And I'm not saying that this is something you should do. It's something I'm gonna do. And I'm just talking about my feelings around making changes in my eating program. And you have your own, whatever you're doing. This discussion is all about wanting to make changes for ourselves. What stops us from making those changes? What's sabotaging emotion? And how can we move forward and, you know, get rid of those false belief systems using essential oils, worksheets, journaling, and being prepared, right? So that we can love ourselves for who we are and not for the past, you know? So what happens when I feel hungry? So if I'm not prepared, then I just mentioned it, I felt shame. I might feel angry. So you kind of need to like we'll start like talking about like how you fill this out. What happens when I feel like I didn't get what I wanted? What happens when you feel deprived? For me, I think I feel like I deserve to have like a dessert. And that leads back to like when I was a kid, you know, like the whole like system of being rewarded and feeling grounded. When I'm full, I feel grounded. I'm more present in my body. I'm able to like physiologically be right here, right now. And when I don't get what I want, I feel scattered. So it's like if I feel light in my body because I'm hungry, then I'm in space and I'm not in my body. And when I'm full, I feel more like centered and back. Is what I'm saying pinging with anybody or what you're feeling?
That's interesting, Kim, because it's almost like I feel the opposite. When I'm empty, I feel better emotionally and spiritually because I don't know, I just feel more connected. That's interesting. Because I tend to eat a few bites more than what I need.
Mm-hmm.
And so then if I do that, and even if I don't sometimes, but if I do that, then that's when I feel shame. And that's when I feel like, I didn't do, I didn't do what was best by my body. And then I don't feel good until I'm empty again. Isn't that weird?
My son says that too. He feels better when he's hungry.
Yeah, it's not that I want to be hungry, but since I do religious fasting once a month, dry fast for 24 hours, I've gotten to where it just feels freer. I feel freer because I don't have to worry about food, and then my mind can be someplace else. And now I am doing some intermittent fasting, and I tend to feel, but I think things go back and forth, but for me, I tend to feel better when I'm emptier.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe some of that is because of digestive issues anyway, right?
Mhm.
So anyway, so that was interesting to hear you say.
Yeah. I mean, we're all going to have our own interpretation and our own story, and different things are going to work for everybody. I'm interested in what is the story that we were told, or the belief systems that play into our daily lives and are making our emotions unclear and our decisions about what we do with our bodies, you know? So these are some interesting, if you want to screenshot this as maybe some questions to answer later. And then let me show you the language of emotions worksheet here that I pulled up. Where did it go? Where's the language of emotions? I pulled it up here. File, open file. Here it is. Okay, is it colorful? Is it a rainbow chart? Or is it something else? No? Okay, let me stop share and share screen. Share. Now is it? Yeah.
Yes.
So I've showed this to you guys before. Well, a couple of you haven't been here, but this is a little cheat sheet that I downloaded from her website. And she does have a more comprehensive list that you can download. But what I really liked was here. So this is something I can email you guys if you don't have it, and you can print it out. And what I think that we could put in this ways to support my emotions is what oils helped you. It might be what question helped you to journal, just so you can kind of start going, okay. Like I was mentioning before, anger helps you move forward into making decisions, like better boundaries or better communication, things like that. So all of our emotions, there's no negative, and we're retraining ourselves to understand how to feel our feelings, how to identify them. And I find that so empowering, and especially, the way I was raised. So just be happy, be grateful, stuff all your emotions back down.
Gosh, that makes sense from the person that raised you, looking at how your mom is. But that's how I probably was with my kids a lot too, because I just thought, power of positive thinking or whatever, right? Let's not talk about the other stuff, because then if we do, then it'll come to us. And so anyway, this is a lot harder for me to do. I don't want to do it because it feels like work, and that doesn't feel fun to me.
Yeah. You're like, that's not fun.
I know. I only want to do fun stuff. But
It's actually kind of fun to me though, because it's like when I discover that I have power inside me that I didn't know about, to me, that's fun.
yeah. So can I share something that happened to me?
Sure.
Last night something happened to me, and it did help because I identified the emotion. So here I go saying I didn't like it, but I was feeling really yucky about I was going to have to tell somebody something that I thought would make them feel bad, but I didn't want to make them feel bad, but I have to talk to them because I'm learning how to talk about and talk truth instead of just smothering it up, right? So I was going to have to talk to this lady, and I was feeling so yucky. So I knelt down to pray, and I'm like, Heavenly Father, how do I make this better for this person? How do I say it the right way so she doesn't get her feelings hurt? Because I have to talk to her about this, and we have to take care of it. And all of a sudden, Byron Katie's thought popped into my head. And I realized I was projecting my fear on the lady. And the thought that popped in my head, the question that popped in my head was, is it true? Which is the first question of Byron Katie's, the work, the 4 questions. And I realized, is it true that she's going to feel bad when you talk to her? And I was like, no, she might feel relieved, because I want to ask her if this piano piece that I've asked her to play is too hard, and is it going to bring her stress? And maybe she'll feel relieved. So as soon as I thought that, is it true? I realized, no, I can't know 100% that she's going to get her feelings hurt. Maybe she'll feel relieved. And as soon as I thought that, like, all my stress went away, and I went, oh yeah, I have no responsibility for her emotions. I can't control those. I can only speak my truth and do what I need to do. And it was just really freeing for me, just to be able to question it. So I do have to say, I guess I do like questioning and understanding things. I guess that's it. I had to understand what I was feeling, and what I was feeling was, I was feeling fear and projecting my fear upon her, because I thought I knew what her response might be. So when I recognized and what it really was, then I could deal with it. Yeah. Anyway, it was very freeing. So
Thank you, Janie.
thank you for letting me share.
That's another really great book. It's Loving What Is.
Oh, it changed my life. That book changed my life in May, along with reading Suffering is Never for Nothing by Elizabeth Elliot. I read those 2 together, and I think my whole life changed.
Yeah. That's how, I mean, we have zero, it's none of our business what other people feel. And for me, like, that was so hard. I'm like, what? Like, I'm supposed to be caring and loving, and I'm supposed to be completely attached to their reaction, and I can control their emotion if I'm kind enough.
Mm-hmm. I know.
So hard. So I learned.
Did it? Yeah, that's a ditto for me.
There is a really cool technique that we can do with our essential oils for this. And it's a clearing statement used in Access Consciousness. It's it's like an energetic questioning community. Like, they're clearing emotions, they're clearing energies, they're helping people with belief systems. Sometimes I feel that their systems go too far. That's why we take things with a grain of salt, like a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So if you look up Access Consciousness, I'm not promoting it. I'm just saying there's pieces of it that are cool. So one thing that they said is, every single day they are destroying and uncreating all of their relationships. What's the other thing? The expectations and their definitely the relationships and expectations, but there's one more that I'm missing. I'll have to look it up. But like, if I destroy and uncreate all of my relationships, then whatever I thought was supposed to be, like, maybe, so like my husband and I are fighting right now. If I destroy and uncreate everything, then I get to start over again today. It's like a do-over. Does that make sense? So like, then I don't have to keep the same belief that I had from yesterday. Like, what can I change today? So tea tree oil is for getting rid of old thought processes and codependent behavior. So I've been using my tea tree in this kind of very intentional way of destroy and uncreate these thought processes. That was yesterday. Today's brand new. So I take a couple of drops of my tea. I'm very liberal with my tea tree. I go through like a bottle a month, and I'm going to put it all over my chest. This is where we can use our tools to help redirect and get us back in our body and get us back our thinking cap back on. So I go through the Essential Emotions book, and I'll tell you what Tea Tree says. A cleanser by nature, tea tree, also known as Melaleuca, clears negative energetic baggage. It specifically releases codependent and parasitic relationships. These toxic relationships may be with people, microorganisms in the body, or spiritual beings. Individuals may feel drained of life force and energy, but they may not be consciously aware of the source of this energy leakage. Tea tree helps break the negative ties in these kinds of relationships so that new healthy connections may be formed that honor our personal space and boundaries. Oh, utilize, if you don't have this book, the Essential Emotions book, download the app in your Play Store or your iPhone, and that's really easy, and it's actually much faster than the book. And I recommend the Essential Emotions book, or the Language of Emotions book, and then journaling your thoughts. Something that I've been practicing is called the art of experiencing. So the art of experiencing, or Tonglen in yoga world, they call it Tonglen. It's a type of meditation. But here we'll just say it in normal terms. The art of experience is if I feel a certain emotion, so like it's quite hard for me to come out with this part of my recovery. So there was a bit of fear and anxiety coming into the, like, I'm like, okay, let's talk about food. And like, I'm afraid of exposing myself for a fraud. I'm afraid of what you guys think of me. I'm afraid of, I mention it to my family and they're like, no, like they don't want to talk about it. That's hard. Why would you want to do that? That's not fun. Like Jeannie, like what you're saying. And I'm like, no, this is the truth in me. This is the next step. And I want to share this information to get it out there, So if I'm feeling fear and anxiety, what I would do in the art of experience and bring in more fear, more anxiety, I'm going to breathe it in. And then I'm going to exhale compassion for myself. I'm going to bring in more, make my bubble bigger of that fear and anxiety. And then I'm going to exhale it for all the people that feel in this room, in this community, that feel that fear and anxiety of people wanting people to like you for who you are. And then I might bring in more, make my bubble bigger. Everyone in the world in this moment that is afraid of what other people think of them. And I'm going to exhale compassion. And what it does is it diffuses the feeling, because energy is not destroyed or created, it's moved. So now I have exited my fear and anxiety out of my physical being and out of, it's just gone. It's somewhere else. So it's not going to stay stuck in a storage locker creating physical issues and nervous system problems in my body, right? So that's a way of processing emotion in the moment so that you don't have to be afraid of any feeling you have. The moment you stop and you go, what is it that I'm feeling? And you say, okay, we're going to breathe it in and then we're going to breathe out. You do that exercise and you immediately will be like, I have power inside of me that was given to me by my higher power to process my feelings. And I'm going to destroy and uncreate how I was parented, and I'm going to reparent and love myself. So we're using our holistic tools, our God-given birthright, to feel present and loved in this time. So I am really loving cardamom right now. Whenever I'm feeling heartbroken and sad, cardamom is my go-to. And a reminder of what sadness does. What does sadness do? Sadness relieves our stress. Your body is keyed up. And when you cry, you feel better. Let yourself cry. It's your body saying, we're trying to make you feel better. Like, just let us make you feel better. And you're like, okay, I'll do it. I'll do it. It's a massage from the inside.
I've never heard that it relieves stress. I never thought that.
Yeah, you always
Mm.
feel better after a good cry, right?
You know, I was crying this morning for something else, but I recognize that I haven't grieved, like really deeply grieved that, you know, my tragedy from 2 years ago. I've never deeply grieved. And I feel like that is what has helped start. That's what I'm still having health problems, because it's stuffed inside me and I don't know how to let go of it.
Can I say something?
Yeah, I would love some feedback because I feel so stumped. And when my husband came down this morning and he saw me on the couch and I was crying, I was like, I'm just crying and feeling sorry for myself because I don't know how to get well, you know, from all of this. Yeah, so I would love some feedback.
So what I'm recognizing something that you're saying that I recognized in myself because of, you know, my neck pain that I've had on and off for the past.
Yes.
So I had a deep-seated shame that I had not done the work to release the emotions causing it. And that's what was keeping me sick. I was keeping me sick. Do you feel that you might feel ashamed that you haven't allowed yourself to get well?
Well, probably from the time all of it happened, the whole thing is, you know, I'm in the health industry and I've always felt well. I mean, I've always, if I'm not well one day, I can take care of it and get well, right? Like my whole entire life. I can use food, I can use oils, I can use herbs. I've always prided, you know, that's it. I've prided myself in being able to get well. So I'm sure I felt, I feel a lot of frustration too. Like a lot of frustration that, you know, I start feeling better and then I make plans and think, oh, now I can do this with my business and I'll do X, Y, and Z. And then the next day, it's like this has happened at least 10 times where I go, oh, okay, I'm feeling better. Now I'm gonna, you know, move forward with my goals doing X, Y, and Z, whatever. And then the next day I'm down and I'm like, what is God trying to tell me? Is this like, I don't know. And it just feels frustrating. Yeah. For me, I feel frustrated. I don't know. Probably I feel shame too. Yeah.
mean-
And I feel like I have not been able to cry deeply enough on the days when I actually mourned. And that's what I was telling my husband. On the days I actually mourned and I said I'd cried a lot that day, it was probably like 2 or 3 minutes 5 times in the whole, you know, for 5 times in the day, I would take 2 or 3 minutes to cry. And then I can get out more than that. So you're saying that you had deep-seated shame that you hadn't done like the emotional work to be well. Is that what you're saying?
I felt that I had the power to heal myself and that there was a part of me that wasn't allowing for some like victim mentality was
Mhm.
me letting go of this pain, making it so that I wouldn't be taken care of by other people. You know, but like none of that crap is true because like we're just living one day at a time under God's grace. You know, like sometimes this is a tool that I think I don't know if you've been utilizing, Jeannie, is the muscle testing.
Yeah, I use one of those. Hmm.
So like my midwife told me I can't midwife myself.
Right.
So like she's a midwife and she still needs midwife.
Right.
So when we feel that we need support and we're looking for it inside, we need to look outside of ourselves in this community. That's why we have
Yeah.
community. It's like, so you're not going to do it on your own.
That's what my sister always says. She's like, Jeannie, remember when you get sick, you can't remember all the things to do anyway. And it does. Yeah, I do need help.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why, like, we're a community. Our God put us here to be together. So just remember,
Well,
you're
thank
not
you.
alone. You know, when we feel understood and we can talk about it, then I feel
Yeah.
like that's when I feel like I'm making my higher power happy. When people can hear and understand each other.
Yeah. Definitely.
So
It brings a lot of hope and compassion.
yeah, that makes me feel full when I feel understood and when I'm around people that I know get it.
Yeah.
So, that's why
Thank
we're
you.
doing this. Good job, Jeannie.
Thank you for helping.
Yeah,
Can
I
I
have,
book a private session with you now?
yes. Let's just, we can do that. So I was going to show you guys I tried to post it online, but it wasn't letting me, a lot of people open the file. So I'm going to share it here for you guys. Share screen. So I go here, share. Let me go to my email. Natalie. Let's see if it lets me open it or if it's gonna kick me out. Here we go.
Is this Natalie Rigby's stuff?
Yeah. Can you see it? Does it show a bunch of fruits and veggies?
No.
Okay, let me stop share.
No.
Share, share, share.
There.
Now that I've got it downloaded on my computer, I can send it to you guys because before it was in her Dropbox link and now it's like where you can't get into it. So what I liked about this for me is she gave some really great ideas on like recipes. I love recipes. I like someone to tell me what to eat. I don't want to figure out what to eat. So she put this all together and it's all based on getting at least 25 to 35 grams of fiber, which is going to be a challenge for some people's system. So that's why it's not for everyone. It is for me though. So that's why I'm showing you. And she's just talking about, you know, toxins in the US and that kind of stuff. And so she's using the probiotics and GX Assist that doTERRA has put together. You currently can't get GX Assist because it's out of stock, but there's a way to make your own. And I don't think that that slide is on here, but I did post it to the Mighty Networks. So if you needed to make your own, it's thyme, oregano. There's like, I think 2 more. It might be lemongrass. Do you remember what's in it, Jeannie?
There was a lot of stuff I saw in that. So
Yeah.
I don't remember, but you posted it and all you have to look up is GX Assist in the search bar and it would come up.
Yeah. So the 2 things that I have started putting together from her program is I've been using the fiber, doTERRA fiber and the greens. So I use a scoop of one, scoop of one. You have to put cold water in a glass of water first, and then you put the scoops on top, and then I mix it with the frother thingy, or you could just use a spoon. But I noticed that my sugar cravings are way down. And normally in the evening, that's when I really want sugar. And I'm not wanting it. So that's like a blessing. And I love when I can physiologically affect my food choices because I have put a lot of shame on my supposed willpower. If I don't put the right things in my body, obviously my blood sugar is going to make me make emotional decisions, right? So we have to remember that there are physiological reasons why emotions start coming out. So I love that I have the control over cravings by making sure that my blood sugar is in check. So I can destroy and uncreate whatever shame BS that I had about willpower when I just freaking didn't get enough fiber. Ridiculous, right?
That's awesome.
Yeah. But so my sister told me that she started doing it, but she was getting bloated. She wasn't drinking enough water. But so like notice if your system is like bloating or like constipating you, then there's some, like start smaller. You don't have to do the full scoop. Like let your system adjust to the system, you know? So there's a lot that I didn't know about fiber. That fiber, it's like enzymes. Your body uses it for every system and every process and every little thing it does in your body. So people not getting enough, obviously, most of the people in America are not eating fruits and vegetables every day. So they're not getting fiber, and no wonder there's all this sickness. So let's see, she's talking about meal prep. Here's the cleanse. I'm not necessarily doing a full-on cleanse at this moment. I'm just doing the Zendocrine, the white bottle at night, and I'm taking turmeric and some of the other things, a lot of omegas. So I'm not necessarily going to do this full-on cleanse. I'm just trying to like do what feels right for me, which is getting more fruits and vegetables in my diet, getting the fiber and the greens, and I'm working on my emotions. So remember, I mean, I had a full-blown on eating disorder from 11 to 17. I was bulimic up to the point where I needed to be hospitalized and medicated like for years. So in the past, when I would feel deprived, like that was going to throw me over the edge, like a full-on freak out. Like, so everybody's got their story around food. You have to figure out, like, you might even want to write this down. If you're willing or ready, write down your food story. What happens? Like, how were you taught? What did your family members do? That might be something to like, that it might be illuminating to you about like why you do what you do now, what sabotages you, so that you might make some positive changes. Not everybody wants to do that. So I'm going to do it though.
Kim, can I share a minute?
Of course.
Okay. I was also sick as a very young child, and unfortunately they medicated me with psychiatric drugs back in the day, when it actually ended up being food allergies. But that was the beginning of my health issues, and then I got really, really heavy and was sick for like 20 years. And in the last 2 years, I've done an autoimmune protocol diet, and I've lost 100 pounds.
Wow.
My problem is now that I've lost the 100 pounds and that I'm able to, 2 years ago, I couldn't walk to the mailbox, and now I can walk, miles. I've reversed diabetes, I reversed kidney disease, I've reversed neuropathy and everything else. But now that I've gotten healthy, I'm struggling big time with food because I've gotten lazy, staying as focused on eating healthy, and reverted more to, I live with my parents, and there's a lot of SAD foods in the house. And my emotions right now are all over the place because I in my head I know what I should be doing, but it's not happening. And I need to figure out what's emotionally affected me that I can't that I can't stay the course.
Yeah.
Do you want feedback?
Yeah, please.
My first thought is, I mean, you're living with your parents. There's so much baggage there. I mean, does changing your eating make you think make them feel bad?
Oh no, I mean, I cook for them. So, the whole 2 years that I've done the autoimmune protocol diet, I cooked the things they wanted, and I've eaten the things that were on the autoimmune protocol diet, no gluten, no dairy, no nightshades, no processed foods, and everything else.
Yeah.
But then it was like after I hit, the 100-pound loss, it was like, it's almost like I've sabotaged myself to go back to the old way. And it's frustrating for me.
Well, okay, I just heard what I could say for that. So we are raised, from 0 to 18, and there's a mold that is normal. So from when we're little and we are given this mold of what looks normal, that's why it's hard to make changes in our lives, because it doesn't feel normal. So we start trying to revert back to what feels right, what feels normal. So it's sounding like to me like you did such all this positive, amazing change, but it might be hard to maintain because it doesn't feel comfortable. And I'm so proud of you of all of the things that you've done to heal your body. And I definitely don't feel that it's valid to call yourself lazy, because I know that you're doing a lot. So let's destroy and uncreate that. It might be like, where can you find a happy medium of feeling comfortable and loving yourself and knowing that you are enough? I've done a lot. It sounds like you're caretaking.
Actually, well, for 20 years, well, for the 12 years that I've been here, they were the ones taking care of me. Basically, So, I was so sick, and then I lost my intestines and, had multiple surgeries, and, they just, over and over have been there for me. So, it's not really a caretaking situation at this point. Other than my mom doesn't like to cook, and I love to cook. So, but I don't really consider that, like they need care.
Yeah. Does what I was saying about what feels normal and what doesn't feel normal, does that hit any targets?
Yeah. And I think probably one of my big problems with reverting back to eating is loneliness, you know?
Yeah.
I would.
There's
Sorry.
lots and lots of good things that you mentioned about your health, and you're able to go on these walks now. You've reversed all of these things. It's like more about like finding your higher power back inside your body, like invite God back in. And then like whenever I'm feeling like disappointed and lonely, I remember like I'm not alone. I'm completely loved, and I invite my Holy Spirit as my comforter. And it's a lot about that spirituality and being reminded of it.
Well, God's a very important part of my life, but I guess the hard thing is when you're sick for 20 years and you're used to being sick, then all of a sudden when you're well, and a whole new world opens up to you. But you don't have access to it because you can't drive, you can't get out of the house. It's a struggle of, it was almost more comfortable being sick.
Because you had a reason not to go out.
I would love to give a little bit of feedback from what I heard you, because you sound like me as far as your feelings around food. Because the first thing you said when you said you know what to do because you've done it before, and then you said that you're being lazy, and yeah, I mean, obviously you have some guilt there, and that is what I used to say about myself too, that I knew what to do and I'd done it before, and now I was lazy. And so I just wanted to tell you, I read the book called The Pleasure Trap, and actually you're doing exactly what your body was designed to do, and that was spend the least amount of energy with the highest caloric food that you possibly can get, which is like pizza or whatever, right? Like whatever's the easiest to get with the highest caloric value is really what your body for thousands of years has been designed to do. So I read that Pleasure Trap, and it really made me realize, oh, I'm just doing what physiologically what my body was designed to do. But we're in an unnatural environment where we can get donuts, whenever we want or whatever, right? So that's number one, just if you can, and the second thing that the thing that I did was I decided to let go of all food rules, because I used to think Haagen-Dazs was a sin and broccoli was righteous, in my head.
Uh-huh.
I mean, really, because that was what I had put these rules up. And then when I recognized that food has no moral value whatsoever, it doesn't make you a bad person. If you live on pizza and ice cream, that does not make you a bad person. Even if you know you're supposed to be eating something else, it doesn't make you a bad person. And some people can live on that and be totally fine, right? And so I threw out every food rule. Right now, for me, I decided to do intermittent fasting because then the fasting part, just not eating after 6 o'clock at night. I bought the fasting movie, which is on Amazon,
It's
and the
awesome. Yeah.
miraculous thing. Yeah. I mean, I watched it before, but I couldn't find it again on YouTube. So I bought it finally. And just that whole thing, that is what is helping me kind of cure my weird relationship with food. But just recognizing that you are doing exactly what you were designed to do, and like Kim was saying, letting go of that shame. And really, if you let go of all the rules, that's what I ended up doing. And then I could come back and start making better choices after that. And it's not like I did full blown, whatever. I never really eat super badly. But, but that's the thing, is putting a moral judgment on the food or on yourself. You're not good or bad depending on your food choices. You're just
Mhm.
not.
Have you guys heard the difference in definition of guilt and shame?
No, I mean, I
Mhm.
think maybe you said it.
So shame
you?
is I am bad. Guilt is I did something bad.
Okay.
So a lot of times when I'm feeling that I've done something bad, or maybe I regret something, or I am in my head thinking about a memory or something in the past about me, food choices, things like that, lifestyle choices, I invite my higher power into my thoughts and I say, will you watch this replay with me? And when I do that, then I start to talk to myself in that memory, me as the person living in the now and the person in the past, and tell them what they need to hear. And then it's like my higher power is there to support me. So I don't have to hold on to things that make me feel like I'm a bad person for making certain choices, food choices or anything, that I'm a good person, and maybe that wasn't the right choice for me at the time. So there's just something that when you get stuck in your head, and that might be some of the things that's going on with us, that if you invite your higher power into those thoughts and say, will you stay with me while we watch this together?
I like that.
I do that before bed. In the 12-step program, that's called a 10th step. And that's where you ask the questions. Actually, let me pull that up on my screen. File open. Nikki Myers. Let's see if I can find it. Is it this one? Open. No. Okay, well, whatever. So Nikki Myers says, is there anyone I caused pain? Did I cause anyone pain today? You ask that. And then, did anyone cause me pain today? And so you're going through those replaying the day. And then if there's anyone that you caused pain, then you go back. So maybe it might be like you were traveling somewhere and you stopped at a gas station and you were short with the gas station attendant, or you cut somebody off and you made, I don't know, you flipped them off. But you can't go back and say sorry because I don't know where they are now. It's on the 10 freeway. So in your head, you got to go back and replay it and then apologize to the person. And you might have to apologize to yourself for some things. And then you bless those people. That's what you do at the end. And what it does is it helps you kind of have a nice clean slate before you go to bed. And when I do that, that really reduces my stress so that I don't carry it into the next day. See what I mean? So that it's just like some helpful coping skills for you guys to do. If you find yourself, especially when I am going to make healthy changes in my life, there's going to be things that stop me or sabotage me that will send me, that won't let me move forward. So having these coping mechanisms like taking hot baths at night. So normally, if you're having that like the physiological sugar fit at 8 o'clock at night, then it means you need to do the greens. Take a scoop of greens and drink it in a big glass of water so that you can work on that physiological need to cut the sugar thing. Something else you can do is you can take a drop of my grapefruit oil, because this is like the cravings cutter and it balances your blood sugar in your body. Because I'm going to take a drop of grapefruit. I'm going to rub my hands together. I'm going to do it for at least 15 seconds. So what I'm doing is I'm bringing myself back into the present. I'm drawing the energy back into my body so that I'm not outside my body. I'm going to be grounded. Obviously, I'm activating the molecules in the air, and now I'm going to breathe them in. You guys want to try it? Because it's kind of fun.
Yeah. Yes, I'm doing it, but we can't see you.
Oh, you can't see
Oh,
me?
wait. Oh, wait. I guess we can see you a little bit, but.
I just did grapefruit. I'm going to do geranium now. Just whatever's working for you. I just have my oils all right here, so it's fun for me to pick. So, and then I'm just going to take and do this.
Hey, Kim, fennel's been a big one for me lately.
Oh, yeah, good. So, yeah, and that's another blood sugar one.
Mm-hmm.
And that it detoxes the fat cells. But when you rub your hands together like that, then it's going to draw, you'll feel it. You'll feel the energy in your hands. It gets you right back inside your body. That's what you would call an intervention. It's an intervention tool.
Okay. And it still works even if you can't smell, right? I lost my sense of smell this summer with COVID, and I haven't done anything to get it back yet.
Yeah, I mean, you've been working on a lot of stuff. So it's I'm probably gonna have to type up some helpful tips for you guys. So I would invite you, if you catch yourself say something negative about yourself that is not true, that's an old belief, like I'm lazy, you know, or something like that. Catch yourself and go, I'm doing the best I can. I'm doing the best I can. You know, we're our meanest critic. You know, if as soon as we're stop talking about ourselves like that and start interjecting those words of affirmation, you know, there's this lady's book. It's called The No Judgment Diet. It's Catherine McIntosh, and she does kind of like a fried green tomatoes type therapy where she wants, like, you know, how they had the mirror with the vagina. Remember with Kathy Bates? So she does naked work in the mirror. So it's kind of like Gene Simmons, you know, like, and I am a worthwhile person and gosh darn it, I love you. But she does it naked. So, you know, my whole life I've not liked my body. And just in this past couple of years, I've like learned to love what's going on with my body. I haven't changed a thing. I'm not working out. I mean, I do little walks, little things like that. But I think it's the confidence maybe that's exuding off me. But I get so many compliments. I mean, I know I'm genetically blessed, but I mean, like, I get way more confident compliments than I used to. And I think that if you think about the people that you love and admire most in your life, you're not really thinking about what their body looks like. Think about the person in your life that you admire the most. It's something about their character that you like, right? It has zero to do with their body type. So I
Right.
try to remember that when I ever feel bad about my body, I remember it does a lot of the things I need it to do. The walking, the swimming, the breathing. I'm so grateful for this body, and nobody's going to remember me for what, you know, shirt size or pant size. Nobody is going to give two craps about that at my funeral. They're going to say all the kind things I did. They're going to say all the whatever it is that I did in this world. So yeah. So I know this was a big topic, and I'm so happy that you guys show up for yourself. And we're going to probably try to keep this a little shorter next time. It'll be more like a 40-minute type thing. But is there anything else you guys would like to say before we end?
Kim, next week, how do I get the link? Like when I went into the email and clicked
Oh.
the email, nothing happened. So,
So you book in on my website. I can send you the link again. And did it work for you, LaSharai? When you booked on a thing, did it send you a reminder?
Oh, yes.
Okay, I'll send you the booking link.
okay,
So that you can, because it'll send you a text reminder, and then you just click the link.
okay. Thank you.
You're very welcome. So
Thank you, Kim.
you're welcome. So you'll need your journal, you'll need the Essential Emotions book and the Essential Emotions app
Okay.
or the physical copy. So LaSharai, I have an extra book if like we get together, and I'll give you one.
Okay. I was gonna order it today.
The app is easier. The app
Yeah.
is super easier. And then I read all my books on my phone. I read everything on my phone because it's easier for me. So I just use the reading app. Do you have iPhone?
Yeah.
It's a little, or do you read on your phone? It's the books,
Honestly, I'd like to read the book, the physical book.
physical.
More, I get overwhelmed with the phone so much because I do so much on the phone.
Yeah, that's true.
And I just wanted to say thank you to the ladies that shared their experience. I felt everything that you guys said, and it was definitely relatable. Definitely.
Thank you.
I appreciate you guys sharing your story. I really do. It opened up a lot of thought processing going on right now from what I've experienced this past couple of weeks.
Bless your heart. Well, thank you. It was nice being on here with you.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks.
Guys, have a great day and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye, Kim.
Bye.